Now, live from Whitney Media, 1460 WVOX, the Greenberg Report with Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner. You can join in the conversation at 914-636-0110. Now on 1460 WVOX, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning. I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor. And years ago, when I was growing up, I was a Boy Scout, and I never made Eagle Scout. So I got a little jealous, and today we're going to be recognizing two twin brothers, David and William Barlow, who recently were inducted as Eagle Scouts. And with me also is Tom Ciccatelli, who is a Scout leader. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Tom, I had a question. I know that a lot of people join Scouts. What percent of Scouts actually become an Eagle Scout?
We believe it's about 2%.
So 2%. And what percent of the Scouts become Eagle Scouts at age 13?
Probably a lot less than that.
Wow. So I'm sort of curious how you guys achieved like something that you could put on your resume for your whole life at the age of 13, when most Scouts are probably 16 or 17 when they become Eagle Scouts?
Yes, most of them are. These young men will be 14 in a couple of months. And so even with that, to get to be Eagles by 14 is a great accomplishment.
So how did you do it?
Well, it's something I've worked really hard to get. It was the next step to... it was the next step from being life. And my dad, he was an Eagle Scout, and he wanted me to be an Eagle Scout. And I really liked the program, so I worked really hard to get it done.
Well, how old was your father when he became an Eagle Scout?
He was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work and perseverance, that's for sure. I've always wanted to become an Eagle Scout. I have many family members who are Eagle Scouts, uncles, my father, my grandfather. And like my brother said, it's a great program, and it was just the next step after the life rank achievement.
Tom, when people become Eagle Scouts, are many Eagle Scouts, it's a sort of like hereditary part of their genes that their parents had it, or do you get a lot of Eagle Scouts who first time in their family's history?
It's both. In my family, I didn't achieve Eagle rank either, but I have two boys that did achieve Eagle rank. We have a lot of boys in our church that have family, as Will has said, and they've achieved the Eagle rank because it's hereditary. It goes from generation to generation. We work with boys. I also work with boys in the Bronx, and they don't have family that have come up in scouting. They've never had any experience with scouting, and for them to achieve the Eagle rank is a monumental achievement for them.
Could you tell us a little bit about the steps that you took to become Eagle Scouts?
Well, first, my dad wanted me to enter into the program, so we went to Cub Scouts, and it took us about 1 to 2 years to finish Cub Scouts, and then we went to Boy Scouts, and we started out as being a tenderfoot, and then we went up the classes to second class, first class, Star, Life, and then Eagle, and those were the ranks of finishing the Eagle.
You have like tons of badges, and could you explain some of the badges?
Sure. So I have my Eagle pin that I was awarded when I got my Eagle Scout. I have the Eagle Scout patch that shows that I got my Eagle Scout rank. I have a ribbon, a knot up here, a square knot, for religious work I did at my church. And I have a total of 26 different merit badges. And I don't know if you can see this, but there is a bronze palm on my Eagle Scout pin, which means that I got 5 merit badges over the 21 required merit badges that you're supposed to get for Eagle.
Since you're both twins, did you get all the awards, the badges at the same time?
Yes, we did get all the badges at the same time.
And were you basically coordinating the road to Eagle Scout, together?
Yeah.
Great. We have to take our first break, and then we'll be right back with two twin brothers who became Eagle Scouts at the same time, David and William Barlow, and Tom Ciccotelli, who is a Scout leader. You're commissioner's staff, is that
Yes,
the
I'm
title?
the unit commissioner for the troops in the Bronx and Westchester for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Great. So I'm Paul Feiner. I'll be right back in a couple minutes.
Now, the only local radio game in the Golden Apple.
1460 WVOX.
Now, back to the Greenberg Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor, and we have a really interesting program today. My guests are David and William Barlow. They're recent Eagle Scouts, and Tom Ciccotelli, who is a commissioner's staff with the Scouts. Could you start by reciting the Scout oath? I'm sure you haven't forgotten it.
Well, the Scout oath is, on my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, more mentally awake, and morally straight.
What schools do you go to?
We go to Edgemont Middle School.
That's great. And what's your goals in life? After college, have you thought about careers yet?
Not much. No.
Have you?
Mm-hmm. I have. I hope to become a pediatrician.
That's great. One of the things that I was curious about is, if you're an Eagle Scout at 13, what do you do when you're 14 or 15 or 16? Are you going to be staying in Scouts and there's really nothing else to achieve, I guess?
Well, I've thought about joining another troop to earn more merit badges and earn more requirements.
Sadly, our troop is ending, so we plan to join another troop and try and get our Silver Palm, which is 15 merit badges, more than the required 21 after Eagle.
So Tom, there's actually life after Eagle Scout. You could get even more awards.
There is, but not only awards. They have gained a lot of experience themselves in their scouting trail. And scouting is always about giving back. And these boys are so great examples of scouting in their troop. They can give that back to the boys that are just joining other troops in their own experience.
So there'll be more mentors.
Yeah.
So you'll be like, when you're 14, you'll be mentoring 17-year-olds. And they'll look up to you, I guess.
Well, that's a possibility, but I think they'll be more engaging with the boys that are crossing over from Cub Scouts into the Boy Scout trail.
That is, that's really great. Are there a lot of Scout troops that are shutting down around the country?
Well, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is trying to unify the program worldwide. We have over 16 million members of the church, and the scouting program has basically been concentrated in North America. And so the youth throughout the world have been participating in a different kind of program and not scouting. And so the church has decided that they want to unify the program for all youth worldwide in the church, and that's what they've decided to do.
So which troop are you thinking of joining?
I'm thinking of joining the Scarsdale troop.
Same? I was a member of that. I think it was Troop 8, I think, if I remember. And I only got to first class, but I did win the Pinewood Derby contest with the help of my grandfather. In fact, during the swearing in, your ceremony, I was impressed because you were talking about your grandfather, and he helped me. He did actually 90% of the work, but I got the award when I won the Pinewood Derby. Was that cheating?
No, it's supposed to be a family work together.
He did and I still have it. I won it 3 years in a row, and I have the newspaper articles and all that. I had another question. Becoming an Eagle Scout is difficult, and 98% of the Scouts don't achieve the rank of Eagle Scout. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if either of you on the road to becoming an Eagle Scout said, I've had it, I'm going to give up, and if you had those thoughts, if your brother basically said, you can't.
Well, there's always those thoughts like, this is going to be hard, maybe I don't want to do it. But we have a little bit of competitiveness, me and my brother, thinking like, if we quit and the other doesn't quit, the other has the Eagle Scout and we don't. And so I think that does fuel us and what makes us keep on going.
Yeah, me and my brother have always had the goal of wanting to be Eagle Scout, and it's kind of pushed us even when we we think it's hard and we don't want to do it.
Do you both have different skills? Are you better at some things and you worse at the other? Vice versa?
Yes.
What are you better at?
I'd say I'm a little bit better at singing, maybe.
Yeah,
and drama.
True.
But
and what's your specialty?
I'm a little bit better at wrestling and most sports.
What about some of the merit badges that you got? Are you, was it easier for one of you to get than the other, and did you have to sort of encourage your brothers?
I don't think so. I think that when we would do our merit badges, I think both of us would do about the same.
We would do the same merit badges together. We wanted to make sure that we were together to push each other to do the hard merit badges.
What was the hardest merit badge you got? The most difficult one? And
I would say life-saving, because there was a lot of swimming and a lot of things you had to remember.
I also think a pretty hard one was wilderness survival, because of the night outdoors that we had to spend. In order to get the merit badge, you had to spend one night out in the wilderness without a sleeping bag and things like that. Just the clothes you had on, a couple of matches and a knife maybe. And you had to make a shelter. That was a really hard one.
Yeah, I remember I once biked around Iowa, the Iowa Ragbri, and it was lightning, and I went under a tree because I didn't want to get wet. So I probably would have been fired from the Eagle. I would have lost the Eagle Scout designation before I started. But we have to take another break, and I'll be right back. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenberg Town Supervisor, and we're talking to two twin brothers, David and William Barlow, and Tom Chico Telly, about Scouts and how to become an Eagle Scout.
Thank you.
Now, back to the Greenberg Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor, and we have a really interesting program. David and William Barlow are Scouts. They just became Eagle Scouts at the old age of 13, which is unusual because a lot of Eagle Scouts become Scouts when they're close to college age. And they're both twins. Father was an Eagle Scout, and they're going to continue, with scouting. And one of the reasons why you're motivated is because you have great mentors. Could you tell us a little bit about the mentors you've had and the role of a mentor?
Sure. So when you get your Eagle Scout award, you choose to give a mentor pin. And I gave my mentor pin to Tom Ciccatelli, who's here with us now. He was a great mentor to me. He was the one who helped plan the Pinewood Derby and helped push us through Cub Scouts. He's the one who helped us make a fire at Scout Camp, or else we wouldn't have gotten very far. He's been a great mentor.
And what about your mentor?
I chose my grandpa because he has taken me on lots of trips to the outdoors and the wilderness, and he has helped me a lot with Eagle Scout. He helped me prepare for my board of review, and he helped me through a lot of it. There's just so many opportunities that he's got to help me.
That is great. Were you very honored when you became when you got the designation of mentor?
I was totally shocked and unprepared.
And
that was a great...
but you always have to be prepared when you're a scout, right?
That's the motto, be prepared. You never know what you're going to come up with or what you're going to face. They did a lot of that when we were at Scout Camp. They had faced a lot of unknowns and had challenges, and they had to work through the challenges to overcome them, and they were able to accomplish a lot.
Were you ever a mentor before?
No, surprisingly, I had two boys that also are in their Eagles, and I didn't even think that anyone gave mentor pins back in those days, back in the early 80s.
You know, I guess it's always nice to be appreciated.
It is.
And that's probably one of the rewards of your job.
It very much is. I enjoy it very much.
That is great. How much time do you spend on the scouting?
1 hour a week. At least that's what they tell us. That's what they want us to do. But it turns out to be way much more than 1 hour a week. There's always something to do, always something to get involved with. Keeping the boys motivated is a big challenge. But it's supposed to be a boy-led program, and the program is up to them. We kind of do shadow leadership to let them learn by their experiences, learn by their mistakes, and grow from the things that they do.
In terms of the time that you spend, how much time do you spend a week on scouting?
Well, before I got awarded my Eagle Scout, basically all my free time I would find something to do that is Eagle Scout and Boy Scout related. And during the 2-month period where I was doing my project, I used all my free time to complete my project.
And what about yourself?
Yeah, I did the same thing, but we calculated, like, there were tens of hours, like something 70 hours in total that I worked on myself for my project. So it's a big thing, and per week that I spend working on my Eagle Scout project, I probably spend during the time I was doing my Eagle Scout project, I spent most of my free time.
Have you encouraged your friends to become scouts? And if somebody's considering becoming a scout, what's the reason why they should choose this activity?
It teaches you a lot of lessons that you're going to need once you become an adult. Teaches a lot of life skills. I've told a lot of my friends that they should join Boy Scouts or try to get Eagle Scout, and lots of them say it's too hard.
That's what I said.
I have the same experience. I tell my friends that it's a good thing to do Eagle Scouts. Some of them seem interested in it, but it is a hard thing, so not all of them do it. And what would I say to people who are interested in becoming Eagle Scouts or doing scouting? It's a really great program, and if you're interested in doing it, I think you should do it.
Tom, aren't there some famous people, presidents of the United States, who became Eagle Scouts?
Yes, there are.
Do you remember any of them?
Off the top of my head, no. I know that there are very many in different jobs and different professions that have been Eagles.
Becoming an Eagle Scout is almost like a license for that you could get anything at some point, because I sort of feel that it shows you have persistence, leadership skills, you're a hard worker. So if I, as say an employer, let's say as town supervisor, if I have a choice of an Eagle Scout or a non-Eagle Scout, I would choose the Eagle Scout because you know that they have the character that could be successful in anything. Is that's
right? There are things that are intangibles when you're trying to come up with a decision-making process in employing someone. And if I had two resumes that are exactly equal in front of me, and if someone put down that they were an Eagle Scout, hands down, I would take them over the other candidate.
Right. I agree. So it's sort of nice that at the age of 13 you already have something very significant to put on your resume.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty nice.
It does get harder as you get older. The older you get, I feel it will get harder to do your Eagle Scout because you have more going on, more homework, things like that. So it's good that we got ours done earlier in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also impressive that you're continuing and you're going to be mentoring other students, and you're also going to be getting additional merit badges, because that also says something about your character.
Definitely.
A lot of people would say, I'm just going to quit and just relax now.
Yeah, get involved in a lot of other things.
That's great. Another question, I remember when I was younger, I said, I'm not going to become an Eagle Scout because I didn't really like sports that much at that time. Do you have to be very athletic, and do you have to be very handy to be an Eagle Scout? And if you're not that great, in athletic activities or anything, can you overcome that and still get the Eagle Scout badge?
Yes, the Boy Scouts of America has the Eagle program, which enables many scouts to earn the Eagle rank. They have options as they choose the merit badges, especially the required merit badges. There's a group of merit badges that you can select one of within that group, and so it doesn't tie you down to one particular skill that you have to have, or you're out.
So what are some of the other merit badges that you could get?
Well, in the grouping, there's besides there was mentioned life-saving, where they have fish and wildlife, leather work, first aid. Some of these merit badges are required. Some of them you can earn at Scout Camp a lot easier than you can somewhere else. Fishing, environmental science, astronomy, some of the things that the boys can get a taste of something else that they might not have even thought of by going to Scout Camp.
Yeah, we have to take one last break, and then we'll talk about your Eagle Scout project, because not only did you get the Eagle Scouts, but you gave back to the homeless and the poor, and I think you gave back to the community, which is really great. So we're going to talk about that during the last part of the program. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenberg Town Supervisor.
WVOX.
Now, back to the Greenberg Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor. And today we're talking with David and William Barlow about becoming an Eagle Scout. And Tom Chigatelli is a mentor, and we've been talking to him about scouting as well. One of the nice things about becoming an Eagle Scout is you have to do a community service project, and both of you did a project that really was important because you gave back and you made the world a little bit better for people who are less fortunate. Could you tell us about your projects?
Me and my brother, we always wanted to do something to help the people, to help people that are less fortunate. So I called around to different organizations to see if they had a project for me. And one of the organizations said that they did. It's called Lifting Up Westchester. Well, Lifting Up Westchester is a non-profit organization that helps the homeless in our community. Lifting Up Westchester provides 100,000 free nutritious meals annually through their soup kitchen, shelters, and other programs. So for my Eagle Scout project, I put together 60 food bags for Lifting Up Westchester for Thanksgiving. Each bag contained a reusable bag, 3 bags of rice, canned vegetables, and fruit, stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, cookies, candy, and a $10 grocery store gift card. In total, I collected around 800 items to complete my project, and it took me 2 months, and it took me 60 hours out of this 2 months.
And what about yours?
So I've always wanted to do something to help the homeless, like my brother said. I do have a family member because of a mental illness is sometimes homeless, and we can't find him because of his mental illness. And so I was calling some local homeless shelters in and around Westchester to see what they needed help with. I found the Coachman Family Center. I called. I told them I was an Eagle Scout looking for an Eagle Scout project. And I asked what they needed most, and they said toiletries. So I came up with the idea to do toiletry kits. In total, I put together 140 toiletry kits, consisting of toiletry items that children 0 through 18 would need. I did 20 kits for toddlers and infants, 40 kits for children, and 80 kits for teens. They would have toothpaste, toothbrushes, soap, shampoo, conditioner. In total, there were around 1,600 items that I put together, and I calculated the price of all the items after, and it totaled up into $1,500 worth of supplies.
That is great. Do you expect to stay involved with the homeless issues?
Yes, I do. Well, the person that helped me a lot during my project was Nancy Enzina. She's been saying that there has been some other projects that I could do for her, or help her with some stuff. And some people don't know. A lot of people don't know how to help the homeless and how to get started. So if you don't know how to do that, you can call Lifting Up Westchester and contact Nancy Enzina to see how you can start helping.
I do plan to stay in contact with the homeless. Our family does donate money to homeless shelters and to an organization that helps the homeless. I plan to maybe help tutor at the Coachman Family Center, and if anyone was wondering how to help people who are homeless, they are looking for tutors for the children there. And one of the things that also helps the homeless is just being aware of the situation, because there is 1 or 20% of the world population is without adequate housing.
Right, and there's definitely an affordable housing shortage in Westchester County, and homelessness, is and has always been a problem. When I was a county legislator, all the hotels in Westchester were used for the homeless, including like the Rye Hilton and the Arrowwood and the Tarrytown Hilton. It was the county was spending at that time, like it was over $100 a night, or this was like over 30 years ago, just to put people up in homeless shelters. And then Greenberg authorized a homeless shelter, West Tulpa Transitional Housing, where the homeless were actually given a chance to learn skills and transition into the job force. So a lot of people, saw their lives greatly improved. You're also involved in different activities. in addition to Scouts, could you tell us a little bit about your other interests?
Sure. One of the activities that we were involved in a couple of years ago was CKCC, Caring Kids Curing Cancer, where we did bake sales at our school and other activities to raise money for people who have been diagnosed with cancer.
What got you involved in that?
My mom was one of the organizers of it, and I do have some family members who have cancer, and I've always wanted to help people who have cancer.
And that's one of the reasons you want to become a doctor?
Yeah, that is also.
That's great. And what's your favorite activities?
Well, I do play some sports for the Edgemont school. I also really liked creating cures, or CKCC, because we would raise money by selling baked goods at chorus concerts from our school, and we would use that money to we could compile it all, and then we would donate it to a cancer a hospital to help create cures for cancer.
So, when I was sort of thinking that really, if becoming an Eagle Scout is more like a state of mind, it's not only just the title being an Eagle Scout, because although you got all these merit badges, you're also doing things. You're all around. You're helping the homeless. You're helping the poor. You're helping people with cancer. You're involved in sports activities. The debating club,
yes.
Also. So it's really like everything. So could you be an Eagle Scout without the merit? They could be you could be an honorary Eagle Scout if you do all these things.
You can. I think as you learn the Scout law, become familiar with the Scout law and other tenets of the Scouting program, and live life according to those Scout Oath and Scout law, you will be a well-rounded person, and you always want to give back to someone else, especially someone who's less fortunate than you are.
That is great. And you're also involved in your church.
Yes, we are.
So do you have so the school is just like a minor part of your life because you're so busy?
I guess so.
I mean, 6 hours a day is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
And how do you like the Edgemont schools?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, we like our schools. It's a good school.
That is great. So we're running out of time. Is there anything else you'd like to mention?
No, but if there are any people who are listening and are wondering about Boy Scouts, if they should join Boy Scouts, it's a really great program, and I think you should do it.
Yeah, you should definitely join Boy Scouts.
Terrific. Great. So thanks a lot, and you're definitely great role models for young people and older people.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for being part of this program.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Feiner, Greenberg Town Supervisor. See everybody next week.